My project, the deadline was extended, so I am still working on it. But yeah, it's basically about the impact of climate change on the mental health of disadvantaged adolescents and children. And we also included an analysis of utilizing artificial intelligence to sort of predict the impact and help develop solutions. So yeah, I worked on this with my mentor, Miss Nurkor, from the University of Hawaii, and she helped me to sort of develop my project. So I'm really grateful to her. But yeah, our findings indicated that there was a possible correlation between climate impacts like extreme weather events on the mental health challenges in disadvantaged youth, specifically like teens and children. So that's why we believe that it's important that we take into consideration the negative effects of climate change and do our best to sort of stop those. So, yeah, if you scroll down, kind of goes over the types of climate change first. And there are many different types of climate change, and there are also many different impacts of them, but things like um, extreme shifts in weather, extreme heat. I'm sure you guys have seen like the polar bears and like the ice caps melting. Those are examples of climate change. And one really specific example for specifically disadvantaged youth in minority communities, like urban areas, would be heat islands, which are specifically in urban areas and are just like super exacerbated versions of extreme heat and weather caused by things like air pollution and specific factors that really only happen in urban communities. And we found that it just like heightens stress, worsens air quality, and makes it harder for people in general to live and adjust to like living. So yeah, if you scroll down um to the climate caused mental health challenges in youth and adolescents, it's been found that in the Northern Americas specifically, which is where we're doing our review, natural disasters are at an increased risk of causing PTSD and other mental health disorders. And then if you scroll down again to the mental health in disadvantaged communities, an example of this would be the 2019 Californian wildfires, which had disproportionate effects on the health of minority communities. California environmental researchers reported that Native Americans, multiracial, and Hispanic populations in California had been impacted the most by exposure to outdoor wildfire. And those are like physical health effects and from the fires in California. And they're significantly associated with severely impacted mental well-being. Yeah, and then if we scroll down one more time to the climate change and mental health section, this is just more data really on the specifics, like post-traumatic stress disorder, substance abuse, insomnia, and behavioral disturbance. These are all like impacts of climate change on mental health. We used in our methods, we used scientific search engines like PubMed, Web of Science, and Google Scholar, and we selected peer review articles that were from the past decade and a half so that they're relevant and accurate, and specifically ones that highlighted like disadvantaged and minority populations. So if you scroll down to the results in discussion, and we go to the identifiers of mental health issues influenced by climate change. One specific term that I want to highlight is solastalgia, which is defined by the distress that is produced by environmental change impacting people while they are directly connected to their home environment. And so this is a relatively new term, but it basically just means that people who are exposed to extreme changes in weather caused specifically by climate change and have to deal with those are more likely to have um, distress. And what we researched was the mental problems caused by that. So if we scroll down to the mental health support systems, then we'll see that mental health professionals already try to do their best to find the indicators of mental illness in adolescents and youth, but we believe that it would be improved if they took into consideration the direct impacts of climate change, like extreme weather changes and the different types that we highlighted above. And that the future of artificial intelligence in mental health care is promising. So if you scroll down to the artificial intelligence section, this is specifically where we sort of reviewed the possibility of mental health, climate change, and artificial intelligence intersecting to where artificial intelligence can help, like support systems can help doctors, nurses, mental health professionals, and like social workers to identify problems in adolescents and youth caused specifically by climate change. So in general, AI can assist in tailored mental health care plans, but support systems play an important role in identifying this, and their jobs can be supported if they use AI tools. And it's important for us to consider like their perspective and to make sure that we're still being compassionate and taking into consideration the ethical implications of AI before we go ahead and decide to use that. So yeah, if we scroll down to the research gaps, there are definitely still gaps in current research, particularly in like the long-standing impacts. So future studies should definitely work on figuring out a way to see how it impacts these disadvantaged youth over time to see like are there any serious adverse effects that are happening later on into their life. Yeah, and in addition, when it comes to utilizing artificial intelligence, um, artificial intelligence can have an unfair bias based on like learned racial prejudices. So we would need to investigate that before utilizing it for the benefit of disadvantaged teens. And yeah, I don't know how much time I have left, but in conclusion, we believe that utilizing AI offers a great avenue for improving early detection and intervention, climate-related mental health issues in disadvantaged youth and adolescents. But there are still serious limitations that we need to think about before we do that, and that it's crucial to actually understand the long-standing impacts. But the data does demonstrate a pretty strong correlation based on the various scientific articles that we've reviewed. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.